Hello everyone, it's SDA Storyteller with a quick review for you guys. I've gotten a request for a video on Where's God When I'm Scared to explain my rating that I gave in my Every Veggietales episode in 10 words or less video. Which was a 6, if you're asking, and in my opinion, that was a good rating. Surprisingly though, less than what I gave for the best Christmas gift that just came out recently. I guess the most recent episode that's come out so far. All that to say, feel free to suggest videos. I won't do them all, but for now, here's a shout out to Zachary Sipple. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Thank you for the suggestion, and stay blessed. Where's God When I'm Scared was the first Veggietales episode released by Big Idea Productions, created by Phil Vischer and Mike Naraki, and blah blah blah. It's older than Toy Story, blah blah blah. Computer animation was new at the time, and blah blah blah. It was hard to make. Hey guys, okay, let me level with you. Can I just skip the Veggietales history for now? I'll do another episode and I'll explain Veggietales history. It's just, I kind of want to get along with the review. Okay?
What'd they say?
I don't know. I think they said yes.
Thank you. So, we start this episode with the soon-to-be standard Countertop Scene. Larry, of course, has his dopey voice where he goes, "Hey, bub." And you'll notice a few other things. Like, one, you'll notice that the letter is huge. You see, the real-life size of Veggietales characters has been debated. Are they regular-sized fruits and vegetables, or are they human-sized? It gets super confusing when you see the live shows and Larry's like 9 feet tall, like the biblical Goliath. But here, they're proper-sized-ish to the paper. Or maybe the kid was a giant and wrote a 9-foot-tall letter. No, but seriously, it gets weird when you get to episodes where there's like animals and stuff, and animals are like relatively the right size if they were humans. Okay, I'm going too deep into this. Second, we also see how shiny the jars are back there. Ooh, reflective. Dang, I won't talk about Phil Vischer, but I'll wax poetic about jars. Shows you where my priorities are. Okay, standard opening. Larry tells a story about fuzzy bunny slippers.
My fluffy bunny slippers. And they're not so scary, just kind of squishy.
Let's get into the first story. Tales from the Crisper. Clearly inspired by Tales of the Crypt Keeper. Wait a tick. Why did you have to tell me Big Idea Productions made this? I just watched the opening and you said Big Idea Productions made this. I'm watching the same video. I didn't swap tapes in the middle of watching this. Oh, and they do the same thing with Daniel, too. Why?
It's not because we're crazy or anything.
Why? Why would you do that? Okay, you might say it's because these are 2 segments in a bigger show.
Ho ho ho! You'd think so, wouldn't ya?
But they never do it again. Weird. Anyway, sorry, I know I'm nitpicking. Let's keep moving. Okay, Junior's watching a Frankenstein-esque movie on TV.
Frankenstein, come back!
He gets scared and, due to it being late, is sent to bed. Love the wacky animation in this sequence. You don't get a lot of visual Looney Tunes-y humor in Veggietales, so when I get to see it, I smile a little. In his bed, Junior replays the events in his head, trying to convince himself that he's not afraid. Bob and Larry burst into his room. Through the roof? Are they sent by God? Are they figments of his imagination? It's never fully explained. And here we get what I feel separates Veggietales from a lot of children's media. The Veggies get a little mean.
Baby pickle.
It's a cucumber.
Like, not super mean or anything, just grumpy enough to speak to their personality. Larry here is dopey and well-meaning.
Compared to God, the slime monster is like a teeny little cornflake.
Bob is stern but caring.
He wasn't scared.
No, not scared a bit.
And Junior is a little bit spoiled, but ultimately a good kid with some things to learn.
If you weren't scared, then there's really no reason, so we'll just be going now.
Sing the song.
What are you gonna do?
This isn't super deep, but so many Christian shows fail to show that you can be more than one thing, and just preach to you rather than telling you a compelling story. Oh, by the way, from this point on, they just preach to you instead of telling a compelling story.
What? Why?
Because God.
God, 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 cut that out!
But seriously, the songs are super catchy, or the song, it's one song that gets reprised, and I'm pretty sure we get our first glimpse of the Fib, or at least it's one of his cousins. And Frankencellery is fun too, and guess what, guys? This proto-Jimmy Gord is
Phil Winkelstein, and I'm an actor from Toledo.
Phil. Gee, I wonder why. Why would his name be Phil? Anyway, Dad comes up to tuck Junior in after hearing a commotion from upstairs. They talk about God and how God's love gives us courage to go forth without fear. And they say goodnight in a super adorable way.
I love you, little mister.
I love you, big mister.
I'll see you in the morning.
All right.
Honestly, I think Junior fell asleep and dreamt up Bob and Larry and the others, mixed in some lessons he had learned in church, and parts of the movie. You see, in his room he has a Veggietales poster, if you have a keen eye, which means that Veggietales as a show exists in this universe. And if he was watching Veggietales, and then watching this, he might have put them to... Okay, this is turning into Joker. But that's just a theory. A Veggietales theory! So yeah, great message. In fact, this is one that I still use today. Before a test, or before seeing my boss, or if the cops pull me over. Yes, as a black person, this can be a scary thing. In my head, I always say, God is bigger than the boogeyman. Because the boogeyman can be anything in your life. It's not a literal boogeyman, it's just whatever is scaring you at the time, whatever stresses you out, whatever is stopping you from doing the best that you can be. And it reminds me that I do serve a God who has the whole world in his hand. That I can trust him even when times get tough. Even if he can't shoot slime out of his ears.
God is bigger than any of them, and even though he doesn't squirt slime out of his ears, he made the whole universe, and he's taking good care of me too.
And I love Larry's breakdown of creation.
God made all those stars out of nothing. He just went, and there they were.
No way!
My only problem with this is kind of a big one. It's not a great story. A kid is scared. He's told not to be scared because God loves him. He stops being scared. It's a sermon, not a story. Larry's story about fuzzy bunny slippers might have actually been a more compelling story if you just throw in a song or two. Believe me, I love this episode. But this is a problem I have with most Christian media, where they preach in their movies rather than tell a good story. It makes the whole story feel kind of like an extended Countertop sequence.
The Water Buffalo song.
So, this song is fun. Oh, but so short. Like, I did not realize how short this song was until I was doing this review and blinked and it was over and was like, okay. I did like the new remix, the one that's on the whole Best Christmas Gift Ever DVD. It had a little reference to the Flintstones Water Buffalo Order, which is kind of like their Freemasons. This though, I might change the rating for because I gave it a 4. It deserves a little bit more than that. Maybe a 6-ish, just a little better than average, but I don't know if it's on anyone's favorite list. Daniel and the Lion's Den. Okay, I love the Bible. So many compelling stories, so many deep truths that help us live in the world today. Veggietales as Daniel starts with a fly over Babylon. It's really cool, especially for 1993, but here's my first problem with the episode. I'm going to cover it in more detail in my Biblical Inaccuracies in Veggietales video, but here we go.
I am King Darius. I've had a dream. And now I'm feeling rather frightened, and I wish someone would tell me what it means.
King Darius did not have a dream. Well, okay, maybe he dreamt in his life. Like, maybe once or twice he had a dream. Maybe he called Daniel in. But this is not the story they're referencing. The story they're referencing is actually about Nebuchadnezzar.
But you better call him Mr. Nezzer.
And I know why they did this, because the rest of this story is about King Darius, and you don't want to throw so many kings into this story to confuse the kids. But this is a Nebuchadnezzar story. It'd make more sense to see Mr. Nezzer, who hadn't been created yet, I know. But other than that, hey, I love the musical sequences, because this was essentially a musical, and a pretty good one at that. The villains steal the show, though. Scallion number 1, who doesn't have a name.
What's your name?
They've never given me a name. I've been around since show 1, and I still don't have a name.
Now what do you think of that?
Is so slimy and wicked. It's just great to see. With so little, they can tell so much. Hiding the Lions in the Dark is a perfect example, where it mirrors the eyes that are seen in Junior's closet. Telling the audience, look, there are unknown things out there, but God will be with you even when you can't see what's going on.
What do you see up there?
I see lots of stars.
And because he loves them, he takes extra good care of them. So we don't need to be afraid because God is always looking out for us.
There's some great one-liners too.
Hey, Daniel! You're sure gonna have fun down there! We're not lying!
Other than that, I don't have much to say. Something that didn't bother me as a kid, but bothers me now as an adult, is this scene.
Even when he knew it could get him in trouble.
Did you say trouble?
So it made me laugh as a kid, but it paints a weird picture of this biblical figure. It makes it seem like Daniel didn't know what he was doing. Now, according to scripture, Daniel knew what he was doing and purposely prayed by his window. In fact, 3 times a day to prove that he was not afraid. He knew that no matter how powerful the king was no match for God.
Oh, I get it! So you're saying God's the biggest of them all, and he's on my team!
That's right!
This story happens close to the end of Daniel's life, and at this point, Daniel had been kidnapped, castrated, almost fed unclean meat, almost executed, interpreted dreams, had his friends tossed into the furnace, watched the king become an animal, read writing that was on the wall, drawn by an invisible hand, survived the fall of an empire, heard an angel tell him about a battle with a demon called the Prince of Persia, and had a vision of every war the world would ever have until the return of Christ. At this point, I think he was kind of in a ride-or-die relationship with God. I'm leaving some references there, but, go read the book of Daniel. It's amazing. I just feel like this one scene kind of trivializes it. All in all, this was the best part of the episode.
Why, thank you. It was my finest hour.
And I will definitely watch this again. So, is it worth the 6 I gave it? Yes, I think it's fair. It's a great foundation of Veggietales. There would be better episodes, and there would be worse episodes coming up. But this will always be special, because not only did it launch a show, but it gave us the courage to take risk, to boldly be ourselves, to find confidence in the God who made us, and to laugh at a Christian film in a non-ironic way. I hope you guys like my review. Let me know what you guys think. If I was too harsh or too soft. Oh, I tried not to mention too many things that I've seen in other reviews. I mean, it's been reviewed. It's the most reviewed episode of Veggietales, I think. Next to maybe Jonah. This probably has the most reviews because, I mean, I've seen like atheist YouTubers cover it and talk about how they don't like it. And I've seen other Christians review it and talk about how much they did like it. So I'm somewhere in the middle. Hope you guys have an amazing New Year's, and don't forget, God made you special and he loves you very much. SDA Storyteller out.
Yeah, you better be lying down, 'cause those lions are gonna, lie on you!
What? Mine was funny. Yours was goofy. Lions are gonna lie on you? They're gonna eat them. They're not gonna lie on them.
Well, maybe they're gonna lie on him, then eat him. Or one will lie on him while another one maybe eats him. Or, well, maybe one will sit
Like
on
lions are
him.
gonna cooperate, like one's gonna lie on him and say, hey, you eat him, I'll lie on him. Come on, we're the ones that are lying, not the lions.